You know, Transformers is one of my favorite things ever, and so is Pokemon. Too bad there's no possible way to combine those two things into one. Oh, wait a minute, I can just give Transformers Pokemon alt modes! I feel like it's important for me to say that this list will not be taking into account how the Transformers would look as their Pokemon forms. This is just giving them alt modes based on their personalities. Now, let's start with the main character of the franchise. Why, it's Optimus Prime, of course, and I'll give him a Ceruledge as an alt mode. They both have blade arm things going on, and I have something planned for later, you will see. Now it's time for the character that made me think of this idea. Bumblebee, and for his alt mode, I would give him a Pikachu. They're both the franchise's cute little yellow mascots who are on everything the franchise has ever touched, and there's a weirdly passionate group of haters for both. Also, I'm just getting this out of the way here. All the repaint characters will have the same alt mode as the originals, and the color of the Pokemon doesn't matter. So if I give a character a Pokemon that color doesn't match theirs, the Pokemon's color will just change. Now, let's put that thing about colors not mattering to work with Ironhide as Copperajah. You see, Beast Wars Heidi was an elephant. Also, Ironhide, Copperajah, they're both named after metals, you see. Now for the GOAT of the G1 cast, Ratchet, and I'd make him a Slacking. I can't word it, but Slacking just kind of feels like a grumpy old man, and he's not a Drampa because Cup is a Drampa, you see. Knocking the other member of the science team out, we have Wheeljack, and he is a Slowking. I don't have much of a reason besides the fact that they're both as smart as they come, and they're both really cute in my opinion. Now it's time for one of my favorite Autobots of all time, Jazz, baby. And I'd make him a Luxray because they're both the coolest cats around. Now it's time for the fucking Fed among the Autobots, and I'll make him a Noctowl. There are a few reasons. 1, Prowl and Owl sound similar. 2, it's a reference to Prowl 2 from Beast Wars. And 3, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, Noctowl is a fucking Fed. Brawn is an asshole bully, and you know who is described as a bully in the Pokedex? Spearow. Also, Spearow's weak, and I think that's funny. Gears is a grumpy pants, so he's a grumpig. Hound is a chill as hell, good vibes only dude, so I will make him a Ludicolo, who is the good vibes only chill as hell Pokemon, as we all know. I'd make Huffer a Lombre. They both just kind of give the vibes of being sick of it all. Mirage is rich and he thinks he's better than you, and so does Superior, so that's a good fit. Sunstreaker was the first Transformer ever designed, and Rhydon was the first Pokemon ever made. So, yeah. Let's do that. I think I have a fucking slam dunk for Trailbreaker. Okay, so he's a bit of a silly guy with a shield. So that shield would translate into him being a defensive Pokemon. And Wobbuffet has one of the highest defense stats out of any Pokemon. And you may not know this, but he's actually a reference to a comedian who would say, "That's the way it is, ma'am," and touch his forehead. This is a fucking brilliant idea. Windcharger Magnet, so he Magnezone. Okay, so this is a late addition in the editing stage, but I just found out Holler exists. I have no fucking idea who this man is, but I fucking love him. And I guess he's missing now. I have no other ideas for what to do with this man, but so now we have the Dinobot Roundup. And first we have Grimlock. He's a Tyrantrum because T-Rex. Swoop is an Aerodactyl because pterodactyls. Slug is a Sheldon because that's the closest Pokemon to a Triceratops. Sludge is an Aurorus because that's the closest to the long neck boys. And Snarl has no Pokemon counterpart, so I guess he's a fucking Dracozolt. I don't know. For our last Autobot, we have a Jetfire, and he gets to be a Lugia, the only legendary Pokemon in this roster. They are both majestic and beautiful, but also haunted. They're as kind as can be, but they have a lot of baggage. They do what's right even though it often hurts them. I have a lot of headcanons for Lugia, give me a break. Anyway, it's time for the decons, and let's start with the main villain. Megatron is a warrior, he's a gladiator. He was once best friends with Optimus, and for him, I think the best option is Armarouge, because they both have arm cannons, and he was once BFs with Optimus, and Ceruledge and Armarouge have a relationship in the game. Now it's for Starscream and the Seekers, and I've got Skarmory. With Starscream, well, Skarmory can look suitably pathetic. For Thundercracker, they both can look cool as hell, and Skarmory looks just silly enough to be Skywarp. I think all three have better ults on their own, but since they need to be recolors of each other, Skarmory's the best you can do. Now it's time for my favorite Decepticon, Soundwave, and I have a few ideas for his ults, each of them hinging on the cassettes. He can be a Mousehold if you really want to play into the fact that Rumble and Frenzy are like his children. He can be a Kangaskhan again for the children aspect, but there's no husband, so I think it works a little bit better. And my favorite for sure, Phalanx. Sure, it doesn't go as hard on the fact that the cassettes are his children, but I think it's a lot funnier and cuter. Depending on the continuity, Shockwave is either second in command to Megatron or a traitorous bastard, but no matter what, he's smart as hell and only got one eye. I was thinking Arbok could work because he's a snake. Get it? Get it? But anyways, I'm going with Malamar. They just go way better vibes based. Also, it captures how Shockwave and Megatron's relationship, depending on the version, is either one of mutual distrust or one of mutual trust. Like how Malamar could either genuinely love his trainer like we see in the anime, or just mind control them for his own gain like we hear about in the Pokédex. Reflector is Dotrio because there's three of them. Kickback is Low Kicks, and I'm sad because I love Low Kicks and I fucking hate the Insecticons. Shrapnel is Pinsir, and I'm sad because I really like Pinsir and I fucking hate the Insecticons. And Bombshell is Heracross, and I fucking hate this so much because Heracross is my favorite Pokemon and I fucking hate the Insecticons. Last group of the video, so now it's time for the Constructicon roundup. I hope everybody's ready. Scrapper is Conkeldurr because they both do construction. Hook is Quaquaval because they're both artists of sorts and total fucking snobs, and I love them. Bone Crusher is Buzzswole because they both love destroying stuff. Long Haul is Hawlucha because Hawlucha is a wrestler that brings attention to himself. And Long Haul really wants attention and glory. Scavenger is Scrafty. This doesn't have too much going on for it, but look me in the eye and tell me Scrafty is happy with his life. He's not. And finally, Mixmaster is Aromatisse. I know everyone else in the Constructicons are fighting types, but there's no fucking chemistry fighting types, okay? And now is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I think the main thing I discovered while doing this is I think it would be really cool if Transformers crossed over with more series just to give its characters new ult modes based on the vehicles and other things from that series. I think that would be really cool, but sadly I don't foresee that happening. Because Hasbro's made it pretty clear recently that they're probably just gonna keep doing original characters for their crossover toys. And I'm a little bummed out because I think it would be really cool to see, for example, the Dinobots as Monster Hunter monsters. Anyways, in the words of Fred Jones from Scooby-Doo, make sure to like and subscribe.